but into the sea.
Welcome back. You're listening to Home Wizards, where we love to help you just have that awe experience at home, improving your home and improving your life. I'm Cindy Dole.
Hey, I'm Eric Stromer.
And we're at the San Francisco Garden Show. You haven't been, I haven't been. Isn't it amazing?
Yeah, this is one of the great shows we've seen. Definitely when it comes to outdoor living, gardens, home, stuff that you love when it comes to flowers and plants and waterfalls and biodynamic gardens. Everything you can think of is here.
Yeah. And it really opens up your eyes. I mean, it's way better than just watching or listening to a show.
Well, it's way better than looking at your ratty brown lawn at home.
Yes.
Get inspired. Go to these events. They really do inspire you and get you to get off your rear end and do something for yourself.
And the thing is that, you know, depending on how large or small a space you have, how much you want to devote to it, the time that you have, because I know a lot of you think, you know, I don't really have the time, and gosh, who has time? But we found so many great-looking things that are easy, breezy, and don't take time and don't take space. So what about an area outside your place where you could help plants thrive more, like a greenhouse? And we met up with this guy who has come up with a solution, and it's pretty affordable, and boy, is it attractive, and I think that Eric might come with it because he wants to live there.
It's so cozy. It's climate controlled, and it's got humidity.
So
it's perfect. It's like a coffin for me.
It is. Well, come on, don't do that. It's a greenhouse that is gorgeous. So, Corny, let's listen to this guy. Regardless of the weather and the climate, that everyone should think about having this, because look at the lights, look at the controlled environment, look at it being protected from predators.
No, and by this you mean we were walking in this fine home show, and we walked by this amazing little greenhouse that's probably about, I don't know, 15 feet by 7, 8 feet.
I'm calling it a plant mobile home.
It really is. It just looks like, it looks modern, it looks fantastic, it looks portable if necessary, but permanent if you need it to be.
You could live in here.
I would. That's why I'm in here right now.
As long as there's snacks in here.
That's
you're right.
exactly, yeah.
So with us is Mason Helms. This is your company. So what is this?
This is a Sunglow greenhouse. It's actually an 8x10 freestanding model. It's thermostatically controlled, both with a heater and a cooling system, and it comes with the lights. And the best thing about this greenhouse is the dual pane system, which provides 1.5 inches of dead air space, which provides really good insulation. It's about 10 times the insulation of single pane glass. And then it's also aluminum framed, so it's really durable in the tough conditions that typically we see in the Northwest.
But even if you didn't have the cold weather, like in Southern California, this would be helpful for a lot of tropicals, wouldn't it?
Correct. It's good for the tropicals, but it's also good for that shoulder season where people want to get things started in the early spring or late winter. Uh-huh. So you basically can extend your growing season for things like tomatoes and whatnot, but also, like you said, things like orchids, you can do it here.
It's got everything. You've got a nice shelf where you can kind of be working on your planting, and you've got a sink here. Describe what you have. So you're giving us all the stuff.
Yeah, basically, one of my, a guy who works for us, he kind of calls it the new man room.
Really?
Yeah.
That's why I'm in here.
And you can substitute a woman in there, too, because you can come in here and you can kind of just turn on the radio. It's got electricity, and hang out and do your stuff, whatever that is you want to grow.
Mm-hmm. And the thing I love about it, too, is that, it feels kind of cozy enough, yet it's got a tremendous amount of room. So you could probably fit, I don't know what, like 50 orchids in here if you wanted to grow them. It does not at all.
And there's a lot of height. Like you're a tall guy, and you still have a foot.
I'm 6'2", and I still have a whole foot left over in this fine space.
And speaking of man caves, if a guy wanted to, escape, he could escape here.
He could. He definitely could.
I don't see why I couldn't just live in here with a small little bed and the radio going and some.
As long as you had some bacon.
Someone bring me a bacon, I'm fine to live in here.
Some music and maybe a TV.
That's exactly right.
But this is very cool.
So what? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
So this one right here is $3,500, and that's really well priced because, like we said earlier, it does include all the goodies like the heating and the cooling and the lighting, the cedar slats, the wire shelving.
You just plop it down,
really
you deliver it?
Yeah? We actually deliver a kit. So you get 3 boxes that show up on your doorstep, and you put it together, which actually, it's not hard. We like to call it a weekend project. It's a process, kind of like putting together a model, but you don't have to be particularly handy or anything like that. It's all riveted together. We provide you with a rivet gun, directions both written and a DVD, and then we also have Basically, I don't want to call it a call center because we're a small company, but you can call us and we walk.
Basically, we're calling you at your house, like at dinner time.
No. You call us, and our receptionist, who's been with us for a long, long time.
Yeah, who happens to be your wife.
Yeah, no.
You know what I love about getting the riveter, too? You could create fantastic fashions in leather pants with this thing if you needed to.
With the studs, is what
Yes,
you're talking about.
I love it.
Well, anyway, the website is called sunglowgreenhouses.com, and pretty darn cool.
Yeah, you know, climate control in a small, affordable greenhouse where you can actually, you know, nurse these beautiful little new things that you want to grow. I mean, it's a great option for anybody that's looking for that.
Little cedar benches and a soil mixing tub, and I love the idea that you can do it yourself. It's in a kit. Think this is pretty easy to do?
A lot easier than IKEA, because you know why?
Because the
directions are in English. Yeah.
As opposed to Viking.
Well, Swedish symbols.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that would be a great solution if you had a little side yard. And they also had another company had a smaller version of that if you even had less space, where it wasn't a complete greenhouse, but it was kind of like a wall house.
That's right.
You know?
Something that could fit on the side of your home, for example, if you had great sun exposure. Yeah.
Some of the other great things that we love. I mean, let's talk about some very creative things that don't cost much money at all. If you're out and about and you go to some of these big box stores, who doesn't find those bamboo screens? You've seen that bamboo screen material.
Come in big, they're 8-foot rolls.
Little bundle.
It almost looks like a rug that you've rolled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's kind of hard to get it to stand up straight.
Right. So here's what you do. You can actually fasten it to an existing fence and amend it so that fence looks great. But you know, you're looking at just a regular couple of bamboo poles all lined up, and it just looks very simple and traditional. Yeah. What did we see?
Well, we saw something that was I thought it was stunning, and it was spray painted, we think. It might have been brush painted, but it was in this pretty green, kind of a light, almost lighter than a pea pod green.
Right. And it gives you just a whole new take on it.
Very fresh look.
Yeah, fresh, modern, and takes an old thing that you've seen a million times, but makes it now stand out just because of one unified color.
And it really popped because the designer had in front of it a little seating area with a Japanese maple that mimicked that same shade of green, almost like a beautiful Irish moss or Scotch moss green, if you get my picture. And then they had that with that kind of a wine-colored Japanese maple. So you had the texture of the leaves and the beautiful colors and a seating area, and now you have an instant little private seating place.
Yeah, and what I love about that is that these beautiful plants then become honored and featured. It doesn't sort of become one of the background plants that you have, but this maple that you're talking about just popped and was so beautiful against that lime green screen. It was great.
There were so many great new plants. In fact, you'll be seeing a lot of them coming out in the nurseries and the big box stores because, I mean, really, the whole plant industry is continuing to thrive, and it's all about finding things that we want, finding things that are going to work for us. A big new one is a pomegranate tree. If you love to have little pomegranates in your salad, that was something that we saw. And then the butterflies. Talk about the butterflies.
Oh, the butterflies were great.
Butterfly art. Yeah.
It's amazing. So we walked by this one booth, and there's a lot of vendors, but this particular one stood out because it was these shadow boxes that had made of clear plastic, and inside them were these amazing butterflies that were arranged in such a way that they were so
like
vibrant.
They were in flight, like they were clustered together, migrating or something.
And when the light hit them from a directional light above a spotlight, they just sort of exploded.
Iridescent, totally.
Iridescent, right.
And so we're talking the cobalt blues and the aquas, and then some colors I've never seen before. He was saying that some of them come from Papua New Guinea, and there's 15,000 different colors or more.
That's right, yeah.
Oranges and purples, but anyway, we'll have these pictures on our Facebook and website. But the idea is apparently these butterflies for butterfly art in farms all over the world, the butterflies migrate there and go through the whole circle of life, and they're not killed. They have
they're euthanized.
No, they're not.
They're gently coaxed into a plastic box.
They have a family and have babies. The babies go to college and then they retire, and then when it's all said and done, then we get to extend the life and celebrate it forever. I mean, at least that's how I see it.
That's convenient for your consciousness.
I bought, that's what he said to me. And I think it was a cool way to have some artwork. Anyway, and we have so much more to talk about. And wait to hear about this plywood wall that Eric fell in love with. And I've got to tell you about this table that is a great outdoor table where the water is spilling and shimmering over the top of it, and you just can put your glass of wine right on top of the water. It's very cool.
Again, you've noticed something with wine. How interesting. Yeah.
I also noticed coffee and tea.
Well, you
It's
did,
a little
but
bit of everything.
second, third choice.
Okay,
Yeah.
and chocolate.
You saw that too, yeah.
Anyway, so many cool things and discoveries. It's the San Francisco Garden Show. If you haven't ever been, consider going next time because it really is. There's a lot of everyday gardeners who are there just to be inspired like
And
you.
not only the San Francisco Garden Show, but any of the home shows,
Yeah.
they inspire and they get you to get up and do things for yourself that you might not have thought otherwise of doing. I
And
love doing it.
If you still can't after all that, maybe to find someone to help you.
That's right.
You know, it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, hour 2 is coming your way next. You're listening to Home Wizards as we love to help improve your home and improve your life. Eric Stromer, Cindy Dole. Don't go away. We're just getting started.